Hey Chelsea fans, new space, but not so new because very soon you'll be getting used to this one. It's a news-filled morning for us all. Lewis Hall is out. He's gone on loan and there are, well, some technicalities that are being reported about this deal that I just do not get, so we'll be breaking down those a little bit further. Folarin Balogun is a striker at Arsenal. He could be on the move very soon. We're going to be discussing that. It's a possibility that he could be coming to Chelsea Football Club. Carney Chukwuemeka's injury, it has been confirmed he will be out for weeks. He has already taken, some surgery. We're going to be discussing that and how it affects us. But very importantly, why you need to stay tuned to this video is that we'll be winding this one up with the 5 reasons why you should be excited about the young goalkeeper that we are bringing in from the US. New England Revolution are losing a top talent to Chelsea. And yes, maybe you've only had the name. I'm going to be sharing with you why you should be excited about this guy. My name is Desire Derek Mugumisa. This is our channel. I urge you to subscribe and yes, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos that we get to share with you. I'm also on social media, so follow me on Twitter, on X, on Instagram and on TikTok. Now quickly, let's get into the big stories this morning. Lewis Hall to Newcastle. That is the big story this particular morning, as the youngster who was the Academy Player of the Year last year has gone to Newcastle United on loan for the season. Now I am urging you, do not be mistaken to think that that is an option that he gets to return. Now let's quickly look at some of the communications that have come through. One of those is this coming in from the Chelsea Twitter handle. Lewis Hall has joined Newcastle United on loan for the season. And when you open that article, there is things about Lewis Hall going with an option to make the move permanent. Now, that option could be an obligation, could be mandatory, or could be optional or something like that. No, it's not optional. It is mandatory, because that's exactly what Newcastle United are reporting. And they wouldn't be reporting a mandatory option to sign him simply because, well, they're the ones who are buying him and they know what kind of contract they've signed with the young player. Where the confusion is coming from is, of course, the financial fair play situation that the team that are Newcastle find themselves in. They've been signing a couple of players who, prior to signing them, they've been telling us that their budgets were not okay. So maybe they were trying to move a few pieces around as a club to find a way of accommodating a new left back, which is a position that they have wanted to fill for a long while. So why these conversations have been drawn out and all of that is simply because they wanted to find a way of signing Lewis Hall at a fee that Chelsea agrees with, but also one that fits within what Newcastle can spend currently. And how we are getting to look at that right now is that if they have him for a loan this window, then they can get him on a permanent deal a little bit later. And what we are looking at is about £28 million with some 7 in achievable add-ons. And that is the deal that Chelsea have gotten to agree with Newcastle. So yes, Lewis Hall is gone. And I guess at the end of the day, we were always going to find ways of paying for all the big moves that we've managed to make for our squad. We lose a very good left wing back who, by the way, wants to play centrally. I am sad about that. If you want to know how sad I am, hey, here is the link to the video that we did on that. And well, I've made my peace now. We get to move on. Lewis Hall is gone, and left back, midfielder, whatever you consider him to be, he is no more. Now let's get to move on from that and get to discuss something that we have control over, or at least, well, that looks like we'll have control over. Big news coming in this morning is that Chelsea have now sounded out Folarin Balogun over a possible summer move from the Arsenal. I like this deal. I like this situation because, and this is exactly why I follow it up with the Lewis Hall situation. This is a good young player that Arsenal, for some reason, are not playing. And I think maybe it's all about their style, and the style the player is. Sometimes players go to clubs and they just will never play, not because they're not good enough, but because, well, the way the club plays does not need that kind of player. I'm trying to come up with reasons as to why Arsenal, who are currently playing Edin Ketia as striker, cannot play Folarin Balogun in there. He's a guy who has gone out on loan across Europe. He was at Reims last season. That was in Ligue 1. And he scored, if I'm not missing that, about 21 goals in the league, and that was in 37 appearances. That is a 20-goal striker. Well, in League A, but could be something for us at Chelsea Football Club. He's a young guy, and you want to think that he can get to bring something to the squad. The only challenge I see with that is that, of course, he's also coming to play alongside two other young guys, all of them looking for game time. So on one side, you could look at it as it improves the competition between the sides and all of that. But then on the other, it is that these are all players at about the same age who, with one winning the title, regardless of whoever wins it, the other two are likely going to be players that are disgruntled. Now, why I worry about that is Balogun is coming from an Arsenal side that just will not give him that opportunity he's looking for. If he gets that at Chelsea, that's if he signs, because we're also not sure that we can convince him. But we've been linked with the player for such a while, so I'm thinking that by the time we are sounding him out and all of that, it is simply because there is hope that we can get him and hope that he has given the club. But here are a couple of things about this guy that you might want to note. Of course, the big question is, why isn't he playing at Arsenal, where they're even trying out Kai Havertz, with the mistakes Chelsea made with Kai Havertz, playing him as a striker. Arsenal are continuing with those. Why aren't they trying out Balogun? Well, he played in pre-season, and shortly after a game in there, he said a couple of things. Actually, in July, he said a couple of things to The Athletic, and I will just quote him on that. I obviously went away, and the point was to prove I could play first-team football. I feel I was able to do that and show people I can play at that level. I think with me coming back, it's not really much of a situation where I think I can need to try extra hard to prove something. I think it's a decision that's not really with me. Whatever happens, I am cool with it. So he could be open to a move away from Arsenal. But is that a move to Chelsea? That is something that we shall keep watching and seeing how it gets to go. It's a big video right here. So let's get to move on to the next story, shall we? There is some big news coming through, and that is the fact that Carney Chukwuemeka is going to be away for at least 6 weeks, and that is after Chelsea confirmed this morning that he suffered a knee injury and has already gone under the knife in there. It is very sad, isn't it? There was a message that he put up on his Twitter, and that is what I would love for us to look at just now. Bittersweet feeling scoring my first goal for Chelsea, but picking up an injury and then not coming home with 3 points. Minor setback, but I'll be back very soon. Thank you, Chelsea fans, for your love and support. Godspeed, greater highs to come. And that's exactly the kind of attitude you want from a young man that is breaking through a team. He came through from Aston Villa, big talent, and he's already shown that he can be a great one for us, especially with how he's been playing. He's been playing brilliantly throughout pre-season, and the 2 games that he managed this season, well, 1.5, because he went off at the end of the first half with that knee injury. Very absurd that it happens that we left the stadium in that is London, at the Stadium of London, on clutches and all of that. It is sad to see how that has turned out, but I hope that he has the resilience that he's putting in this tweet to come back and play great, because his future is definitely one that lies at Chelsea. And kudos to the people at Chelsea for not sending him out on loan yet again. I think he is ready to play at this level. Of course, it also means that Chelsea now have no number 10, and they have to step up their efforts to bring in that number 10 that also plays on the right wing. They need to make up their decision on who that will be. Jeremy Doku has gone to Manchester City. We need a guy to come in now. Nkunku was a first choice number 10. Injured out, similar injury to Carney Chukwuemeka, who's now also gone out starting pretty much today because he just got that surgery. So who is the number 10? It's also exciting to see who plays against Luton. I think more than ever we can be sure that it will be a 4-3-3. Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo in the midfield dictating that, and whoever comes up wherever else on the pitch, because now we can play a number 10 and we still need a whole lot of creativity. You want the engine of Caicedo and Enzo supporting the forward line, and Lavia cleaning up the bases. So I'll be waiting to see how that all gets to develop. Now let's get to move on to a part of this video that I'm so excited about, and that is of another guy coming into the Chelsea fold, and that is the, goalkeeper that is named Djordje Petrovic, and that is the guy that we're bringing in from New England Revolution. Here is a tweet that is of course one that got to break down what we shall be paying for him. Nizar Kensela reporting that it will be £12.5 million as their assured fee, and then there will be £1.5 million in add-ons. Remember earlier, Chelsea had stated that they were putting out, well, they are not stated, but reports had it that we had put aside £20 million to find ourselves a goalkeeper after Kepa had gone to Real Madrid. So that is something that is coming through. Simon Phillips also reporting, actually that is Nizar Kensela reporting that Chelsea have booked a medical for incoming new £14 million goalkeeper Petrovic, and their summer spending will not stop there. Mauricio Pochettino is expected to add one more forward before the transfer window closes at 11 p.m. and that will be on September 1 or September 1st really. Now of course that is news that excites all of us, isn't it? But here is something. Djordje Petrovic, of course many of us are only seeing this name and have no idea what this guy is all about. Thank you for staying through to this point of the video to find out exactly why you should be excited. Number one, this guy is regarded as the best goalkeeper in Major League Soccer currently. So yes, it's not just another name. And if you've watched those video clips of what he's all about, it is quite exciting. I actually went ahead to look for his blunders and there could be none. Maybe he wasn't that popular for people to come up and say, you know, I'll have a compilation for his blunders and all of that. I couldn't find any. Is that a good sign? Maybe it is, because they need to stand out for someone to think that's good content. So that is a plus for us. Number one, he is regarded as the best goalkeeper in Major League Soccer. Number two that you need to know about this guy is that this new England side, they didn't want to lose him. They didn't want to. There were offers for this guy. One of those came from FC Nantes in, well, earlier on in this window, as well as, of course, one that came in from Nottingham Forest here in England. And both deals, they were turned down. However, Petrovic, when he had the Chelsea wanted him, he wanted to come, so he pushed for that particular move, and that is why he is exactly at Chelsea Football Club. Also note, it is a record fee that gets to bring him to the club. I'll be telling you more about that. Number three that you need to know about Petrovic is that he was named in the 2023 that is MLS All-Star squad. Yes, and of course you will have had a term like that in basketball or even American football. With American sport, there is always that team of the season, like you call it in England. So he was named in that. But you see, the interesting part about him being named in the squad is because he had only played 21 matches of the 34. And that is because he joined in mid-season, replacing Matt Turner, who himself had left to go to Arsenal. So this is how brilliant this guy has been. Of course, he's a guy that had been brought in from Serbia right there. He was also voted second, that is in the MLS goalkeeper of the year last season. So how about that for all the things that this goalkeeper is getting to do. Now, number four of the things that you need to know about this guy, this move that brings him to Chelsea, it will make him the most expensive goalkeeper to be sold by an MLS side ever. Yes, it might sound like it's little money and all of that, but the MLS has not been selling people for that big money right there. So yes, he sets a new MLS transfer record for most expensive goalkeeper, beating Chelsea's deal. Yeah, another Chelsea deal to sign Gaga Slonina from the Chicago Fire. And that was when we signed him for $10 million, with some 5 more to come in add-ons. Of course, Gaga Slonina still going out on loan to improve himself. You want to feel that Petrovic does come at a level where he is closer to the first team and one that will be pushing Robert Sanchez. And the fifth and final thing that we want to take note of this guy's transfer to Chelsea is that this deal is among the most expensive sales from the MLS of all time. Miguel Almiron's $29 million move remains the biggest, and then of course it's followed by Jean Duran's move to Aston Villa this particular summer. Of course for Almiron it was from Atlanta to Newcastle. For Jean Duran it was an $18 million move that had him come to Aston Villa. We also saw him get to score over the weekend for Aston Villa. Good stuff right there. So yes, Petrovic becomes the third most expensive sale for MLS of all time. And yeah, maybe that too should point to how good of a goalkeeper and player we are getting a Chelsea Football Club. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it is all excitement for us this particular day. That is one video that we've gotten to send you today. We'll be sending you another one, so do stay tuned to this channel, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out when we get to bring it through. And yes, share this content with as many Chelsea fans as possible. Follow me on social media. I'm on X at @DMugumisa. I'm on Instagram at @DMugumisa, and I'm on TikTok at @DDMugumisa. Until we see you again, keep that blue flag flying high, fam.